Well. Bobby Belt is going to expose Mike McCarthy. He's already started it. Bobby Belt is saying that one Mike McCarthy is no longer the coach here. So now I get to expose him like I always wanted to do. And Mike McCarthy is a shrewd operator, man. I just did a video about how he ran Kellen Moore out of town. But I'm going to show you now what Bobby Belt is about to give us some more answers to questions that some of us had been asking over the last few years. And what he's about to say next is mind-blowing. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy hitters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the end so you can help us grow this channel and kick us out into the YouTube algorithm. But if you want to, you can go ahead and like and subscribe now if you haven't. Now let's talk facts. Bobby Belt don't like Mike McCarthy. I'm glad he prefaces that with what he's explaining. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if he liked Mike McCarthy or not. What he is saying is indisputable. In actuality, Kellen Moore was better than Mike McCarthy. He is a better play caller than Mike McCarthy. So now, Bobby Belt, he's already told us how much better Dak Prescott was with Kellen Moore than he was with Mike McCarthy. And I've already pointed out, because Mike McCarthy said as much, part of the system he was using in his successful season, that was Kellen Moore's system. It was a hybrid. They were calling it the Texas Coast. But now Bobby Belt is really about to drop some bombs. He's about to give us the answers to some questions. I don't know if you've wanted them, but I was wondering, but now I got my answers. Let's listen.
So they've shown that they know how to work together. They went back to a lot of those concepts last year. I did listen at 7 o'clock. I did hear whoever called in and said, no, that's not the case at all. Well, it's great. Show me the evidence of that, because that's not what happened. In fact, Thursday when I'm back, I don't know when you want to do this, Sean, but we'll get into timeline of everything. So we'll get into McCarthy's awful relationship with Dak for most of his time here in Dallas. We'll get into Mike being the driving force pushing Amari Cooper out and how much that upset players here in the locker room. We'll get into his paranoia about Dan Quinn being on staff for 3 years. But
we've been blaming Jerry, haven't we? And you can blame Jerry because he's the ultimate decision maker. But now we got to take Mike McCarthy at his word. Mike McCarthy said he's had more control here than he had in Green Bay. Dak Prescott said bring him back and let him do it on his terms. Jerry might have been implying, and with everything that's happening, Jerry may be implying, do y'all not realize he was doing it his way? Mike McCarthy talked about how he had been involved in the draft. He talked about how he's had control. Do we not realize that this is maybe Jerry Jones by letting him go ahead and walk and not giving him another contract? Jerry Jones is saying, do y'all not know he's been having some control? He's been having some say so. Who do you think was the driving force behind driving out Kellen Moore? Y'all think Jerry Jones wanted to do that? Some of y'all applauded that. It's amazing to me. You didn't get a different result. You actually got a worse result, and we won't even admit it. But he says 3 things. It's amazing to me. Bobby Belt is exposing Mike McCarthy. You would think that Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott had a great relationship. They may have one now. They didn't always have one. I wonder, when did their relationship get better? I wonder, could it have been when Mike McCarthy became the play caller? I wonder, could it have been then? And it's amazing. They don't have a good relationship, but Dak Prescott is still winning games for Mike McCarthy. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me how certain things look on the outside, but then when you look on the inside, it's a totally different thing. So, if the head coach don't like the quarterback, you don't think people might notice that? if Bobby Belt knows this, and he said he bringing, Brangin, he bringing receipts. So you don't think other people knew this? Explain to me, how does a coach say he builds teams? He wants to build a team. So how do you build a team when you don't like your quarterback? It's not like he's going 9-7 or 9-8 with 17 games. It's not like he's going 6-11. He's only winning 12 games a season. That's all he's doing. I just wonder, when did the relationship, when did it get good? And I'm going to tell you something. There are 3 changes in this franchise I can remember with Dak Prescott being the quarterback. 3 cataclysmic changes. This team was never the same after one Travis Frederick. It's never been the same. It's just never been the same without Travis Frederick. Number 2, there are probably more, but I'm going to give you number 2. When Amari Cooper stepped foot in Dallas. Dak Prescott's quarterback career changed when one Amari Cooper stepped in the building. He was the first wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. Dez was a beast. But Amari Cooper was different. Amari Cooper was a different type of beast. Amari Cooper was and is one of the best route runners in the NFL. He is a route running machine. Crispy route running. Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper were insane. They were insane. I mean, down the field throws, insane. I mean, Amari Cooper, the route running. Dak could throw it to a spot with Amari Cooper. Why? He was disciplined. He knew he was going to be there. He knew how to get open. And Amari Cooper, extremely strong, contrary to what people may understand, and is deceptively fast. And it never made sense. It never made sense why Jerry Jones let go of one Amari Cooper. And people were saying things like it was because of the jab. It was because he was getting he was disappearing in games and blah, blah, blah. Man, I'll take Amari Cooper disappearing in games over everything we've had since him. I mean, they're even talking about now there may be a reunion between the Dallas Cowboys and Amari Cooper. I seriously doubt it, but they're saying it could happen after this season. And I would not be mad at it. Amari Cooper with Dak Prescott, beast mode. But we blame Jerry for that. And now Bobby Belt is giving us the rest of the story. Mike McCarthy pushed out Amari Cooper. He influenced Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones to let go of Amari Cooper. Don't tell me about Amari Cooper's deal. Everybody knows you can rework these contracts. You can do magic with these contracts with void years, converting money to signing bonuses. You can do all kinds of stuff. It was not the money with Amari Cooper, and everybody should know this by now. No. Bobby Belt is giving us the truth. Mike McCarthy, problems with Dak Prescott, can't wait to hear what those were, pushed out Amari Cooper, who could have continued to help this team. And then the third issue with Mike McCarthy, the paranoia of Dan Quinn. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Jerry Jones was trying to groom Dan Quinn for the job. I think Jerry Jones was hoping that Dan Quinn could hang around until Mike McCarthy's contract was up. Because when Mike McCarthy's contract was up, Dan Quinn was probably going to be the head coach. But I also think that Dan Quinn, as a part of Dan Quinn, the whole Bobby Wagner thing, not getting him the pieces that he needed. But there may be another piece to this, and I'm very interested in Bobby Belt and what he's going to have to say about this, because you think about this. So you don't think Dan Quinn's been around long enough that everything that Bobby Belt is saying, that Dan Quinn didn't feel that? You don't think Dan Quinn didn't feel how Mike McCarthy probably was a certain type of way about Dak? That Dan Quinn probably looked at the Amari Cooper thing and was kind of like, huh? I wonder that when Dan Quinn wanted one Bobby Wagner, I wonder if Mike McCarthy wanted, or did Mike McCarthy go to Jerry Jones and say, please get him Bobby Wagner? How do you build a team like this? You're paranoid over the defensive coordinator. You ran off Amari Cooper. That disrupted the players, the locker room. You got problems with your quarterback, and then you don't think people know this? So how do you build a team like that? I've been saying it all year long. Mike McCarthy is fraudulent to me. I've been saying it. Mike McCarthy is fraudulent. And I'm laughing at people coming to his defense. He's fraudulent. And Jerry didn't do anything wrong. I think, you know what? I'll say this. I think what the one thing Jerry did wrong, should have never brought him back. He actually should have fired him. But Jerry and Steven do not believe in paying coaches who are sitting at home. Because at once upon a time, we thought that Mike McCarthy was making $4 million a year. Only for Todd Archer to do some research, and now we're seeing that it looks like Mike McCarthy was making $8 million a year, which don't put him nowhere near the top of the food chain as far as paying head coaches. But why would Jerry pay him more than that? Who was checking for Mike McCarthy? I had all but forgot about Mike McCarthy until the Dallas Cowboys dug him up out of the ground. Nobody was checking for Mike McCarthy. Everybody saw what he was in the end of his career. At the end of his stint with Green Bay, because everybody felt pretty much the same. Man, you ain't got no excuses. You don't have not one excuse, bro. You have had Aaron Rodgers, and you've had players around Aaron Rodgers. And the weak link has been your play calling. The weak link has been your inability to prepare your teams. That has been the knock on this man for the longest. And now I'm seeing, I said this today and I'm going to close. I never felt right about Mike McCarthy's 12-win seasons. They just didn't feel right. They never felt right. It was just something about this team. I was always like, this don't seem like a 12-win team. 12-win teams, a lot of times, man, you're like, man, these dudes, they're dominant. They can beat anybody. You never quite thought like that with the Cowboys. And it wasn't because of Dak Prescott. Stop it. It was either we were deficient in some area, or more important, for me, it was always Mike McCarthy. The team just never felt like a team. It never felt like a team. And it's amazing to me. This dude talks a really big game. I mean, the statements he made about Kellen Moore, want to run up the scoreboard. When you're on the offense, it's one thing, but I'm the head coach and the play caller. I'm more in tune. Mike McCarthy has shown, even over the last 2 seasons, he is not in tune. If he was in tune, he wouldn't be running the West Coast offense. If he was in tune, his teams would be more, his teams would actually be teams. The culture would actually be better. And I'm telling you again, the indictment on Mike McCarthy. Look at Dan Quinn, 12 wins. Look at Kellen Moore, 14 wins. They were, 14 wins, 13, 14 wins? Both of them are doing well. It's an indictment on Jerry to a degree, too. They got players around. They got players on those teams, but we're watching Kellen Moore run the ball. We're watching Dan Quinn's culture develop right before our eyes, and he's already got 12 wins. It's amazing. I'm here for it because I've always thought this about Mike McCarthy since his stint been with the Cowboys. Something, and even with him leaving this team, Jerry's got to do something because it just hasn't seemed right with Mike McCarthy these last few years. It just hasn't. I'm glad he's gone. I don't care who feelings that hurts. I'm glad he's gone. He has been detrimental to this team. And now that Bobby Belt is about to give us all this background information, I think we're going to get some questions answered. And we might need to start apologizing to Jerry Jones just on a couple of things. Make sure we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and understand something. Since, as James Jones said, if Mike McCarthy said he's had some control and he's been making some of these decisions, well, doggone it, let him own it. And let's just stop running around here saying that any coach that coaches for Jerry Jones has no say-so, has no power, has no influence. Mike McCarthy has had his fingerprints, influence, and everything all over this team. And that's the very reason why it doesn't look right now. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.